is.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for being here. There's no other session you can go to, so I'll be happy here. Okay. And this is just an example of procedural memory. That is procedural memory. So maybe you know the movie Memento. You've seen it? Yes. You know it? Yes. So that's basically the idea. So I thought, okay, doing all of these tasks on my computer and kind of doing them all over again. So I kind of put this idea, why not just build like a system where I can like have atomic tasks that I can re-execute every time. And I don't have to tell my agent, I don't have for my agent to generate tokens to reason about how to do them. And the idea is really, kind of like implement like a muscle memory for my agent. And you can imagine this would be just like a simple script that is completely deterministic. And that's exactly what I did. So atomic skills that encapsulate one functional unit. If you have been at the Agent Factory talk, you will probably see some of the ideas we surface here. Basically what you have is an atomic skill is made up of a name, category, blah, blah, blah. Has some input parameters and some output, defined output parameters. It also has input validation script that is deterministic and an output validation script. So these scripts check whether the input is actually valid and everything's ready for this task to be executed. So again, we have this idea of like a method signature. And the cool thing is, if we have a bunch of them, we can chain them. But before we get into that, really simple, just on the file system you can see, this is an atomic skill for a TTS service to speak over the loudspeaker. This is the tool, this is the validation, and the skill MD file defines the contract. This is what the script looks like. It actually points to a local service that I have, where this is offered. And yeah, there's a couple of checks that it runs first, and then it will just execute this particular service to say something over the loudspeaker. So it's really, really simple. It's kind of a way of wiring up the different projects that do different things and just wrapping them into an atomic skill so that any other agent on your system, any directory can just use it. Input and output validation scripts. We always do an exit one if something's wrong with the input or something went wrong with the output, just so that we can terminate maybe a chain of these atomic skills. Then the execution lifecycle, already went through that. Only 8 minutes left. So the type system is, we have types like folder, file, audio file, video file. That's how we do the matching, and you can just come up with your own different types and how they're compatible with each other. And what you can then do is you can do like a download of a video of an audio file. It gives you an audio file, then you can input that into the atomic skill, it does a transcription, and it gives you then a text file, and then you can change it up to atomic skill, it does a summarization. So this is a skill graph where you can see all of the inputs, all of the outputs of skills aligned with the inputs of other skills to see which ones are compatible. So open an audio file or download audio file from YouTube, open a video editor, transcribe it, summarize it, all those sorts of things. So you can see how the chain becomes quite easy that way. Now, behind the scenes, the way it works is we have all of these signatures. They are nodes in the graph. We can generate the graph quite easily. And we can assign weights to the edges between the nodes. Like here, download audio from YouTube, use an audio transcription, and it's a weight of 1. Over time, the system learns how long these tasks take, and they become weights, so that you can actually use the Dijkstra algorithm to find the path that costs the least amount of time to complete. Right? Maybe we have one service that does audio transcription very slow. It will have a high edge weight if you combine them with another, and then you just avoid that. Right. So, what if we have a missing link? So if we download a video and want to transcribe it to audio, but we get a video file as a download, we cannot make a connection, right? We have nodes in the graph that are not connected. And the system will tell you that directly, and then you can say, oh, okay, we need to implement this node. If you tell it how to do that, maybe we need to develop a throughput, but the system is going to be explicit about what it can't do.
By the way, this is still created by you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on GitHub right now, so you can just start it. Yeah, now, because we can, if we start with downloading a URL, but basically, so basically, we start from the end go and the start go and do a bidirectional search to find where the missing piece is. So you can see here, step 0, we start download a URL. So we have the option to download as audio or video. We can transcribe it, we can do all sorts of things. We can summarize it, but then the missing link is, well, how do we get the text into the TTS service? So we'll highlight that as well. There's a couple of cloned skills that come with it. We can add a skill that helps you just create one. We can update skills, we can remove them. We can rebuild the graph that connects all the different atomic skills. And we can just use Memento to do execute a specific goal. So let's just use the last 5 minutes to do that. Okay. Interesting. And maybe we want to do a workflow where we download a video from YouTube. Any preferences? Any short ones?
Memento.
Which one?
In just 11 days. Usually a full rewrite to Rust is the swan song of any startup about.
Right, so maybe we'll do that one. I'm just going to make sure that my low latency TTS service works. It's running good. And we're going to say here. Oh. Okay. Let's just do that. I wanted to add in a summarization step with the LM Studio, but I'm going to do that. So, okay. Just need to get in a prompt here. Please download this video and create me a transcript from it. And read the first 2 sentences to me with speech to text. So it's now using Memento skill to map this code to a chain of atomic skills. So it loaded the Memento skill. So it's now reading the graph, the skills nodes, which contains all of the atomic skills. It should then look at, it will run a script to find a connection from the input and the outputs. So what the agent does now, it figures out, oh, I have a YouTube URL. Let's check what nodes I can start as entry nodes. The graph shows path routed through visual frame description, blah, blah, blah. So let me verify the transcription route explicitly. So it just confirms the chain that it already found deterministically. It identified the TTS skill, the atomic skill, not the flow skill. And now it's doing stuff that I don't like it to do. It just looks into the folder of that project. So this is learning tokens. But it's now running the YouTube download skill. So in the .memento folder, skills, video, and there's my skill to download something. It created the transcript. No, sorry, downloaded it. But now step 2 is create a transcription for it using a local whisper model. And you can see it used the Memento skill for transcription. Make sure my sound is up. Yeah.
How do you create? You just create the skills using Memento, like download video, transcribe, whatever.
Yes.
A bunch of them, and then they combine together by themselves to create this graph. You don't need to specify like download first, transcribe later, do this and this. You don't need to do that.
No, just need the input and the end result. I need to identify those 2 nodes in my graph, and I use the extra to find the path, and the agent to execute each individual skill along the path. So now it's
software factory.
Well, this is just chaining of procedural memory steps. Like the execution is deterministic scripts. Like the execution of every element is just what the agent initiates, but the scripts run deterministically.
Yeah.
So now it's step 3. Let's hope there comes some audio out. It did everything nicely, right?
Last week, Bun, the all-in-one JavaScript toolkit that was acquired by Anthropical last year, announced that they spent the equivalent of $165,000, running 64 parallel Claude agents to refactor their entire code base from Zig to Rust in just 11 days. Usually, a full rewrite to Rust is the Swan's.
So, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you already kind of answered my question.
Yes.
So basically, the way that this node, the skills connect with each other is also automatically generated, right? The thread and all this.
Yes.
When, for instance, you ask it to download and transcribe it, it automatically also already play out loud the MP3 that the sound that generated, right?
Yes.
But you didn't ask to that for that, right?
No, I basically have a shell script. I can call it myself, and it will then just use TTS to output whatever I put in. So it's really just a method called equivalent. Yes?
Could you also show the skills.txt, like, because you already have predefined skills in there, right?
I do have some.
It's quite neat though, like Claude is able to, is Claude, so to say, the engine, the model behind this, which is able to build this graph and just regular Claude?
Yeah, I can show you. So, I mean, there are these Claude skills to start the process to rebuild the graph, but they use deterministic scripts. Like there's a script that generates all the nodes of the graph from the skills files. There is a Dijkstra algorithm that finds the path, the shortest path, etc. So, yeah.
So Memento is basically also just a set of skills and these scripts indeed.
Yes, so for example, what are you interested in, TTS, or what do you want to look at?
Oh, like this. So these skills are part of Memento already. I was thinking like Memento is loading a set of skills.
No. So what Claude sees, what the graph building sees is this stuff, and it uses this to build the graph deterministically. Claude doesn't do that. But what Claude will do is, it will read this part, and it will see what the inputs are and the outputs are. It will call the scripts that need those inputs for you, right? So this TTS has the say script, the input validation, and this still just describes how to run this skill, right? Procedure run, input validation. Run, so that part is what Claude executes for you, right? But Claude doesn't have to figure out where's my TTS server, how do I send it correctly. That's all encoded and in the deterministic shell script. Yeah. Same with video download from YouTube. There's a skill for that, but then there's also a tool that actually performs the download for you, right? And let me see. So there's a shell script that performs actually download for you. But yeah, you wrap those into atomic skills, and then the chain becomes very easy. If you look at the graphs, and that's the last thing. The graph folder, so you have the nodes. It tells us, for example, there is, for example, you want to watch a video, there's a skill for that. And it just expects a video file as an input, has no output. We'll just launch my VLC. So I can download a video and say open it.
Out of interest, would you also be aiming to make Memento a more generic tool? As in, right now it's just a tool built to process media, right?
Just my specific use case, the media examples are not you can get a repository, you just create your own skill. Whatever you can pack into that format works. Like check my emails, check my dashboard, check my Slack messages, write a little Python script that does the checking for you, and then have that as an atomic skill.
Yeah, I mean that Memento tool that we're now looking at, this is also the skills, etc., that are used to do the Memento part of the execution, right?
So Memento has atomic skills that are not Claude skills.
Yeah.
Everything inside the Memento skills folder, and then there are Claude specific skills like the /Memento to start it. Right? So yeah. And then here you have the edges between nodes. And this is how it already has this connection between nodes that have output that matches the input of another node. And there's also a script that does the deterministic. So you have one that builds a skill graph, that builds this edge graph from blah, 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 computing the edge weights and analyze the logs for you. That's pretty much it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You have a question?
Yeah, it's really cool, but the memory aspect.
Yes. It's, well, it is procedural memory. It means it's muscle memory. It's encoded in these atomic skills. Like the guy from Memento who doesn't remember anything. Not that guy. Wait. Cancel. Don't save. Just need to get rid of all of these windows. Wrong one. There you go. Yeah, it's basically like, these are your atomic skills. These are things that it remembers. Agent doesn't know anything, but it looks at the skill. That's how I do that. Right? So that's the idea. You encode the memory in actions, like muscle memory. That's the idea.
I see as a structured way to create skills that also run scripts, and you can perform this in a chain way, like a workflow.
Yes.
With a proper orchestration, right? And just as I said before, I see that they created this graph chain by themselves,
yes,
and find the fastest path to execute
yes.
there by themselves. Memento already some sort of creating some observability or tracking this thing behind the scenes to understand which one is the fastest, how to provide it.
Yes, there's a log file, disclose it. Basically, there's a logs folder. It contains basically the execution and the runtime it took for something to complete. And that's basically what gets used in the weights. But just take the log of that as the weight for the edges.
So basically, it matches all the requirements that you request in your prompt. You say, hey, this flows about the fastest way to provide that.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And yeah, it's very simple. I did this because I wanted to use different parts of my projects, connect them to each other without having to tell it all the time. So just make everything like atomic skill, like DTS. Just make the atomic skill. So I can use DTS from anywhere. I just need text input. That's it.
Oh, I got it. It's like global skill, but connected with like a workflow. It's a more advanced than simply skills, of course.
Yeah, it's basically for creating dynamic workflows based on individual steps.
Yeah, I see now.
That's what it is.
It's
Self-packaged skills, like you can deliver with the context everywhere.
Yes, yes.
Everywhere.
Yes, and the agent doesn't get in the way. Like if you code out to the TS once, there's no guessing. You're going to say focus. The only thing the agent figures out is, okay, how do I execute this script for the atomic
Yeah, I see that I could do the same with one skill, but of course, I would have to put everything in one skill, very complex. And if I want to do it again with another skill, I would have to think about all this workflow again with
Yes.
all proper tools. So this provides this toolkit.
Yeah, and it's much faster too because it just needs to say, okay, I need to do this first and that and this. The whole reasoning is gone. You don't have to do any reasoning about it. You only have to do execution. That's why it's muscle memory, procedural memory.